The Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants.
It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Huddle up, huddle up, huddle up.
On Giants.com.
Here we go.
And the Giants mobile
Get
app.
them in there, let's go.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
All right, that's our final edition of our player interview series on the Giants Huddle podcast. It's safeties and a lot of guys to talk to here because we know who one starter is. That's Xavier McKinney. He's going to be our final interview in this podcast, so make sure you stay till the end. We're also going to talk to new addition Bobby McCain, who will lead off with him. He's also a slot corner, so I put him first. Then we're going to have Dane Belton, Jason Pinnock, Gerrvarius Owens, the rookie. Nick McCloud, who's converting from corner, will be fifth. And then again, Xavier McKinney will be last year. Good conversation about the individual players, how Wink uses the safeties in the defense, and a lot more coming your way on this episode of the Giants Huddle podcast. Let's lead off with new addition Bobby McCain. Now we're joined by Giants defensive back Bobby McCain. So I'm not going to call you a corner or safety because I feel like you kind of dip your foot in both sides of the pool there. So what has it been like with Wink, who likes to run a quote-unquote positionless defense anyway, and how do you foresee what your role is going to be? Like, how has he talked to you about how he's going to use you this year?
Wink's been great. Just understanding, learning the playbook, getting it all down throughout the spring is going to help. And I'm a player that can be used anyway, and in every safety, at nickel, you can corner, wherever you want to put me, and I'll succeed. So, and he knows, and I'm excited to see what he has in store.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Giant fans, they played Washington a bunch, right? They've seen you. They've seen you play safety, been in the slot a ton. Mm-hmm. Are you more comfortable in either spot, or basically wherever the team needs you can go?
Wherever. I can do both. I feel comfortable at both. Playing slot for my first 5 years, and then moving to safety year 6 through 7, year 6 and 7, and then going back to the slot for Washington last year because they didn't really have one. I like to be able to adjust, and that's what I've done so far in my career.
Slot's a tough position to play, right? I mean, you have to be able to do everything. You got to be able to blitz. You got to be able to set the edge in the run game, cover two-way goes. What is it about your game and your ability to play the slot that makes you apt for that position?
Just being smart, being physical. Those are two things that you're going to have to, you got to be able to run all day. You got to be able to tackle well. I try to take heed to those things and try to put my best foot forward. What
is it like playing with Xavier McKinney back there?
Oh, he's a good player, man. Really smart, good player, bright player. He's got a really bright future. Just keep it up, and like I tell him all the time, just keep going, man. And there's no ceiling.
You've been in the league a while. I'm sure you were very familiar with Wink's defense before you got here. What has the reality been of playing for him in this system versus what your expectations were heading into it?
I didn't know him personally, but I will say that they're stand-up. He's a stand-up guy, stand-up man, and he'll tell you the truth. Defensively, just you're gonna get a lot of different looks from him, and hopefully we can mess the timing up of the quarterback, or just sometimes it's just that quick little second that gets you that big play.
What's the benefits and the challenges of a scheme that blitzes as much as he does and puts, frankly, corners on islands a lot? But he's going to get on the quarterback too. So how does that kind of
It's just that in the defensive backfield, you're going to be one-on-one a lot, maybe zero a lot, and but the ball's got to come out because the guys we have up front, man, they're incredible, and especially with the pressures and the blitzes and everything. So that would be, I guess, the challenges, and the benefits would be that, kind of the same. The ball has to come out, and you can make plays on the football because that, and those guys up front are going to rush their tails off and go get it.
I imagine, and final question, that kind of, and you talked about being a smart player playing the slot, right? Like, as a smart player in this defense, if you have a larger understanding of what the play is and what you're trying to do, that probably gives you a bit of an advantage of being able to play your guy and play your scheme in that particular play the correct way, right?
Yes, correct. Just knowing the ins and outs of not only the defense, but just of, the guy next to you, really. That's really, really knowing where your help is, knowing where people are going to be, that'll always help. And, because sometimes you may have inside leverage, but there's a guy standing inside that you don't have to have inside leverage, and he's running out breaking route. So just understanding those things and getting those details down is what the spring's really for.
Bobby, good stuff, man. Appreciate the time. Nice meeting you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Now we're joined by Giants safety Dane Belton. Dane, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. It's the same question I asked Cordell, I'm going to ask you. When you take that mirror and reflect it back on your rookie year, what's your takeaway?
It was a great starting point. I felt like I got valuable reps, great learning, And just the biggest part, you need to stay healthy. Just trying to get back from there and build on what I did last year.
Yeah, because you got hurt in the preseason, right, during camp. You came back. But then stuff just kind of kept coming up, it seemed like, right? How frustrating was that when you thought you were back and you were good, and then it just kept popping up again?
Yeah, it was really frustrating just knowing that, first when I heard it, just not being able to practice and participate right when you get to the league. You're trying to make your footprint, and then, get into where I think I'm back, and then I'm continue to re-injure the same thing, and it's impacting my play was definitely frustrating. But you got to understand, that's how the game is, and you just got to focus on getting healthy and getting back to where I know I can play.
You expect training camps here, you're going to be full go and ready to roll?
Yes, sir, 100%.
All right, what does Wink talk to you about your role this year? Obviously, Julian's not here anymore, so that opens up a lot of snaps, and Julian's a guy that can do a lot of different things the same way you can. You've played up, you've played down, you've played slot, you've played all over the place. So what does he talk to you about what your role might be as a safety in this defense?
Yeah, there's an open battle right now for the other safety spot, but also the way we use safeties in this defense, a dime, blitzing a lot. So, there's definitely going to be roles that a lot of us are going to take on and just go from there, earn what we, how your playing time, basically.
From the experience you did have on the field as a rookie, what were some of the things heading into the offseason that you really wanted to go into the workshop and try to get better at?
Yeah, just continue working on angles. This game is a game of angles, so especially at the middle of the field, continue to work on tackling and understanding offensive tendencies and offensive strategies, especially in the box, with different pulls and plunges and things like that. So just continue to build my mental game up and get smarter in that aspect and carry it over to the field.
Are you more comfortable either deep or close to the line of scrimmage at this point?
I feel like I'm comfortable at both. I feel like I have a body that can, play inside and make tackles and things like that, but also, with my ball skills and range in the back end. So I think I can do whatever the defense calls and whatever Wink wants me to.
You have another veteran in your room in Bobby McCain this year. What has he kind of passed on to you, in the meetings with him as he has so much experience in the league?
Yeah, he's passed on a lot to me personally, sitting next to him in our defensive back meeting, just picking his brain on just NFL tendencies. I'm helping him learn the defense, and he's helping me understand, a lot of things just football-wise. So being able to pick his brain and get knowledge from him is huge for me and my growth.
How does it help you learn the defense trying to explain it to new guys in the room? You know what I mean?
It definitely helps a lot. They always tell you if you can teach someone else, that's how you know the defense. So just being able to, help the young guys too as well as Bobby, and just being able to spit that information back just confirms that I know it and how quickly I can recall the information. It's just going to help me on the field. And
then finally, where do you see that added experience in your second year show up on the field? When we watch you in camp, in preseason games, and regular season games, and where am I going to say, oh, well, maybe in his rookie year, Dane wouldn't have made that play. But this year, he does because he just has gotten better.
Yeah, I think it's showing up already in the small things that I'm able to do right now as I'm rehabbing. Just being quicker, seeing things, seeing like different run schemes, seeing different, pass routes and matching them quicker. Just I would say just this year, just being able to show up quicker on different things and having more of a fast twitch because I'm understanding more.
Dane, good stuff, man. Appreciate the time, dude. Best of luck this year. Thank you very much. The Giants Huddle is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day to every day, Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Now we're joined by Giant safety Jason Pinnock. Jason, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
So you're in a battle here for the starting safety spot next to Xavier McKinney. It's an open field. A bunch of guys are competing for the spot. How you've dealt mentally with not being able to kind of doing all the 7-on-7 stuff because you're rehabbing during the spring. Has that been tough for you a little bit?
It's been tough, but I'm a big person of controlling what you can control. That's not my thing. I'm going through rehab and doing my thing and getting right. But camp is that time, to kind of separate yourself and show everybody what you can do.
Yeah, and they always say, though, that no jobs are won or lost here in the spring.
Exactly.
They're going to be won and lost in the summer, right?
Exactly.
So you're a guy that came in late last year, right? You weren't here you didn't have all the setup and everything. How much better are you now in this system, knowing what they need from you now than when you were basically trying to figure things out as you were trying to play last year?
Right, yeah. When you first come in, you kind of just you want to get things right. It ain't really
and not mess up,
right? There's no personalized things. You're not really showing much of who you are as a player to a certain extent until, get the X's and O's down. But, yeah, it's been great, man. It's been great. It's been a great transition. Being able to really be around the building, learn to match a name and a face together finally. So, been a lot of comfort now.
Is this a fun system for a safety? Last year you guys had such a big room, and you have 4 or 5 safeties on the field at the same time, right. 2 deep, 1 in the slot, 2 a linebacker. Mm-hmm. Is that a fun thing where I'm sure it's a lot of work, too, where you have to know how to do all these different things, but you're asked to play so many different roles?
Right. You kind of hit it right for me. It's a lot of work, so it forces you to learn a lot, and I love that. I'm a sponge. I like to soak it up from the front to the back, the knowledge of the game. So it's a very fun system to play in as a safety. You go blitzing, curl flat.
You guys blitz a lot, man.
Yeah, middle thirds to man to you never know what you're going to be doing, and then sometimes it's by week. So,
what do you like to do the most?
Blitz. I like to blitz. I like to blitz, and I like to play man. I was the corner my whole life. Once you kind of convert to these corners that convert to safety, it's like they kind of forget you played man your whole life. So, I love to still show that. So
yeah, and I was talking to Adoree, too, and he just talked to us about how important it is to just understand your leverage and things like that in this defense, because they do put you guys on islands, right? Like, they don't make it easy on you, but they do teach you, depending on the play, if you just play it a certain way, you might give up a catch, but the really bad stuff's not going to happen. I thought you guys last year did a great job. You always, despite the fact you had so many guys running in and out and different players, the really bad stuff didn't really seem to happen that often, right?
And that's a testimony to like our group. A lot of player-led things, whether that's extra meetings, extra walkthroughs, and that minimizes the big plays,
Are you looking forward to playing that AFC East again this year? Are you going to be back playing that division?
Man, am I. Everybody asks me that, man. Of course, it's circled a few times on my calendar. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back in there and get back.
And I should add, before we say goodbye, you expect day 1 training camp, you should be full go, ready to roll?
Yes.
Good to see you, man.
Yes,
Jason,
sir.
Thanks, man. Look forward to it.
Man.
Appreciate it. Now we're joined by Giants rookie safety Gerrvarius Owens. Gerrvarius, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Blessed. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so talk about what your experience has been so far as an NFL rookie. I know you had a lot of expectations of finally getting into the NFL. Has it been like you thought it was going to be?
Most definitely. It's been a lot of what I thought, but a lot of difference as well. It's just really just a blessing first and foremost, just getting around the guys and just being a part of this great organization, just taking that in every day is just like, wow, who would have thought? So, just coming in, being able to practice every day, clean up stuff and get better and just, take the coaching and stuff like that has been, a great thing for me in my process going along the way. I got some great coaches here, Coach Rome, and Coach Cheer as my position coaches, helping me along the way and just working on things to get better, being in the playbook, and like coming from college to the NFL, it's a lot of things you don't realize as far as just like little things that make your game a little better, make instinct show and stuff like that. They've been teaching me, really getting me prepared in ways like that. So I'm just very grateful to be here right now.
Now, watching at spring practice, OTAs, you're getting your hand on the football a little bit now. And if you watched your tape at Houston, that should not be a surprise. You did a good job in coverage there too. So how has that transition been? The type of coverage they asked you to play at Houston compared to what Wink has you doing here. How similar is it? How different is it?
Yes, sir. It's just a lot of the same. We played a lot of man at Houston as well and things like that, showing how being able to do different things. Been a toolbox guy, so I definitely feel like I'm enjoying the transition. And like I said, I got some great coaches that's giving me a lot of tips and just they're real disciplined and detailed in their approach. So that helps my game be mirror the same thing. So I'm very thankful for the coaches that's here. They've helped me, elevate my game to the next level. We're only going to try to keep getting better and better each and every day. So, I think it's a lot of good stuff to come in the future.
And they move their safeties around here, too. Like, it's not like, you're going to be the deep safety. No. You got to be deep safety, you got to be box safety, you got to be slot corner. So they're going to have you do a lot of different things. How has it been trying to learn all those different positions kind of at the same time?
Yes, sir. And just coming in, I feel like that's the thing that I prided myself on, being able to play in the post, play man-to-man, bump and run, and, zone coverage, fall off, and things like that. And like you said, they allow their safeties to do everything. They speak very highly of their safeties. And, it's like a blessing, but you got to be up to the challenge every day. So, it's just something to get better at. If you're lacking in anything, they're definitely going to get you better in that category. So it's just like it's a why not. That's kind of the system you kind of want to be in. So you're not hindering your game in any way. You're always elevating because there's always things, as players that we can work on. So them making us do everything, then that's how you get better at everything every day. So, and with the coaching willing and like wanting you to do that is just even more so just going to tempo the growth. So
No, of course, 100%.
Most
You know,
definitely.
we talked about coverage a lot. Let's talk about safeties in the run game. Because
sir.
either whether it's your line of scrimmage and if you're in the slot, you're setting the edge, or even worse, in the last line of defense, if you don't make that
Gotta show
tackle,
up.
game over.
Yeah.
So talk about, obviously you haven't been able to do that yet in the spring because there's no contact or
Yeah.
anything, but that your game coming from college to the pros in terms of tackling, where do you think you're at?
Yes, sir. You know, I feel like tackling is just a mentality. You have to be a willing tackler, you know, to to go in each and every down and be willing to put your face on the guy. So, you know, and that's another thing. Like I say, Coach Rome and them, they preach and stuff. You know, like it's a blessing to be able to play safety, but it's also kind of a curse if you look at it because, you know, like you said, the D-line or anybody else mess up, you know, they got the next level of defense and everything, you know, in the back end, you know, your mistakes show up on the scoreboard. So, you know, it's just something you got to be extra detailed and dialed in, you know, so everything can flow together. So, like I said, just being willing and able, I feel like at each and every level, tackling is tackling. You know, either you want to or you don't. But of course, it's things you can clean up as far as angles to the balls and you know, near foot, near shoulder, and things like that, squeezing the air out the guy and all that. So we run a lot of tackling drills. They love physical safeties that can come down and tackle and fill the run game. I think that's Wink's whole personnel, just being physical and hungry as a defense. So, you know, I feel like we're definitely going to be able to showcase that this year.
Yeah, you talk about angles, that's key, right? And then
Yes,
also,
sir.
you know, you're coming down, so if you're at that deep safety spot, you're coming down so hard, you have to take the right angle, then throttle down, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're coming too fast, the guy's going to get around you every time. So it's a
Most
matter
def.
of kind of finding that balance between those three things, right?
Oh, truly. You got to be an athlete at the end of the day, you know. Great hips, mobility, balance, and things like that. And that's just stuff, you know, you work on in the weight room. I think we have a great strength staff to get those things done. So, you know, probably going to be in a good spot.
All right, finally, what are your main goals for your rookie year here as we head towards training camp?
Yes, sir. Just to come in and contribute in any way I can. You know, whatever coach asks of me, you know, I'm ready to step up to that level of expectation, and I think I'll rise from it just with the great coaching staff that we have and also the guys in the room. You know, there's no, like, you know, you kind of get in and they kind of say the NFL is more, you know, business-like than usual. But, you know, these guys, they come in and whether they're a vet, rookie, 2-year, second-year guy, everybody's willing to help each other. You know, there's no egos, no animosity or anything. So, you know, I feel like it's a great learning environment. So I feel like I'll be able to grow a lot this first year.
Gerrvarius, this was great, man. Nice
Yes,
meeting
sir.
you.
Appreciate you having me.
Looking forward to seeing you on the field in the summer.
Most def.
Giants fans love a winner. It's why they love Citizens. Named a 2022 Best Bank in the U.S. by The Banker. As the official bank of the Giants and sponsor of the Giants Huddle, Citizens is made ready for fans of Big Blue. Learn more at citizensbank.com.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Now we're joined by Giants cornerback. Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Nick McCloud. Nick, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Well, let's start there.
Yeah.
You've been dipping your foot into the safety world a little bit now. How's that going?
I mean, it's been going good. Just trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard this time of year because how the rules are set up with OTAs and everything. But just trying to learn and get some experience at some different spots. So it's been good.
And look, Wink's defense is positionless. We talk about this all the time, right? So
definitely.
I'm sure a lot of the stuff is probably not unfamiliar to you.
It's a little different for sure. But like you said, I definitely played a little bit everywhere last year too, so that kind of helped. But it's definitely a little different just moving, I would say, from front to back in terms of corner to safety. But it's definitely a little different. But different is not always bad, so I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you were the primary outside starting cornerback for a
Yeah.
lot of the year last year,
Yeah,
right? And
definitely.
now you're kind of in the middle of the field. I've seen you line up in the slot too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
In some of those 7-on-7.
Yeah.
So was that just a huge technique adjustment for you this offseason? Was that kind of your big focus on everything you did, learning those different techniques to play off rather than on the
Yeah.
ball outside?
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely a huge adjustment. And like I said, it's definitely a little tougher this time of year with the rules and everything, OTAs, but it's been good. So we'll see how it takes me into the season.
Is this something Wink told you was possible at the end of last year, so you kind of came in thinking this might be a possibility?
Not necessarily telling me so much at the end of last year, but really, like I said, I bounced around. Well, not really bounced around. I played a lot of different positions last year. So just coming into this year, I knew it could be a possibility, but nothing really at the end of the year.
So as you've been working on it, what have been some of the biggest challenges for you getting used to some of the new roles and some of the new techniques you've had to play in that spot?
Just trying to slow everything down in terms of the game and everything like that. Because when you're a corner in the slot of nickel, it's always a hands-on fight. You fight. But when you step back, you kind of got to slow everything down a little bit. So.
How much of a help has Bobby McCain been for you as someone that is literally has done the stuff you're talking about for a very long time?
Definitely a huge help. Like I was saying, he just helped me like slow everything down in terms of the game and stuff like that. Because like I said, I always want to be the aggressive one down in the fight with somebody, you know what I'm saying? But just having Bobby, you know what I'm saying, just helping me slow everything down, he's been huge for sure. Yeah.
Nick, good stuff, man. We appreciate the time,
I appreciate
dude.
that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Now we're joined by Giant safety Xavier McKinney. Xavier, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. I guess first let's start here. Let's get that out of the way. Completely healthy? Hand good?
Yes.
No worries?
No worries.
Are you still doing any work on it, or you're like back to normal?
Yeah, I think work is always going to continue to be a thing. That's just for anything, a part of your body, part of the game that we play. We always going to have to work on our body. So
sure.
It's always going to be a part of what I do, and just making sure that it's always up to par and ready to go. So
you got to be happy it's behind you, though.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
All right, and now you're working with a bunch of new safeties.
Yeah.
Julian unfortunately moved on, and you're familiar with Jason Pinnock. He was here last year. Familiar with Dane Belton. Bobby McCain's a new face.
Yeah.
Nick McCloud's been doing a little bit of safety stuff too, right? So what has it been like working with really a series of different guys next to you during spring practice?
It's been good. I think, right now I haven't been able to play alongside of JP and Dane just because they're still rehabbing.
Right? Yeah.
But all the other guys have been great. Just kind of building that chemistry within each other. I think we've built a great bond. So whenever it doesn't matter who's ever out there at the other spot, it's easy to click and we're pretty much on the same page. So it's been fun. It's been an experience, and we enjoying it, taking it day by day.
The role of the safety in last year's defense was fun. I mean, you guys got to do a lot of different stuff. You had 4 safeties on the field sometimes. Safeties playing linebacker, safeties playing slot. Different guys in the room this year, without giving away secrets. Do you expect the same type of variety as we saw last year in terms of how you guys use your personnel?
Yeah, I think honestly, our room as a whole is better. I think we are a lot more versatile than what we were. I think we got a lot of guys that can play different spots. We got a lot of smart guys, just kind of how we had last year. So it's just of being in that system for a second year. Guys are more comfortable. So obviously that'll be another good thing added on. So I think it'll be fun, and I think we're gonna be real versatile with how we play.
Value of a vet like Bobby McCain, who's basically been a starting slot, he's been a starting safety, and he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I think just adding him to the room has been great. Obviously, he's a vet, true vet, so he's played a lot of ball. He's played a lot of good ball at that, and we have a lot of respect for him. So whenever we have those questions or, really whatever it is that we need or feel like we need to ask, that's who we go to, that's who we ask. So, he's been great just having him out there on the field. Obviously, he knows the system. He's pretty familiar with it, and he's smart. So it's always good when you got a guy that's a vet, smart vet, makes plays, easy to play with, easy to talk to. So it's been fun just having him.
For you personally, what are your main goals this year? Where are you trying to kind of take that next jump going into the final year of your rookie deal?
Yeah, I think for me personally, obviously I want to be a Pro Bowler. I think that's probably my number one goal going into this year. I want to be an All-Pro as well. So I got some goals that I want to accomplish, some things that I want to do. So I think it's gonna be fun. I think with the type of defense that we play and with Wink being our DC, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think I'm gonna have a good chance to be able to go reach that goal.
Where are there more plays to be had? Playing that center field role or creeping up close to that line of scrimmage in that slot game?
Everywhere, honestly. For me, and I can make plays, wherever on the field. Don't matter if it's blitzing, whether it's in the slot or in the deep part of the field. Pride myself in making sure that
I know you do.
I'm keyed into each spot, and I know kind of what's going on each spot and being able to make different plays. So, like I said, it's going to be a fun year.
Finally, last question. I know a lot of guys can kind of feel it coming sometimes. Second year in the defense, 4th year in the NFL, coming off the injury. You don't have to, actually focus on football this offseason. You don't have to worry about anything else. Do you feel like in your bones, like the breakout coming? Do you are you like envisioning it? Do you see how it's going to happen in front of you? Just in terms of, making all those plays, getting your hands on the football, stuff like that.
I don't think there's no breakout.
Correct.
I've already shown that I could play at a high level.
Bad verbiage.
No, you're good. Because I hear it, sometimes here and there, but it's no breakout. It's just gonna be another one of those years where I play how I know that I'm capable of playing, that I played like before, and like I said, it's just gonna be fun to go out there and just get back to doing what I was doing before.
Zay, good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to seeing you, man.
Yes, sir.
We thank Xavier McKinney. Good conversation with him, and you can tell he's confident about the way he's played. He let me know about it too, which was good. I like that. We went back and forth a little bit, had a good talk, good conversation. And look, I do think, and I think breakout was probably the wrong word to use, like I said to him in the interview, but I think he's a guy that can really have some more ball production this year than he's had the last couple of years, which could be huge for him and the Giants defense as he heads into his contract year. I thought Bobby McCain was really good, the vet, talking about what he can do in the system. And then Dane Belton and Pinnock, two guys that are kind of coming on strong here. And then Nick McCloud converting from corner to safety. Another really fun talking about how he can impact the Giants defense. Thank you so much for joining us on the Giants Huddle podcast. We'll see you next time.